Forever, bro.
Forever.
Where are you joining us from, bro?
I'm joining from Nigeria.
From Nigeria.
Oh,
Okay. Nice.
Nigeria.
Welcome, brother.
Nice.
Thank you.
I think you missed the first day of class. No?
Yeah, I did. Wasn't around for the first day of the class.
Were you able to catch the pre-recording?
No, I don't have any link to that, but if I get it, I would appreciate that.
We need to pin that. Thean, start pinning the pre-recordings in the Telegram so people can have access to it easily, so they don't have to scroll through the chat on Telegram. Yeah, it's on the Telegram. The pre-recordings on the Telegram. Yeah,
so
yeah.
The thing is, some new people are just joining, right? So maybe you should put the Telegram link also. Yeah, and also so they can see the pre-recording in the Telegram.
Yeah.
I'm also trying to invite fireflies so we can do this. Okay.
Yeah, get the fireflies going so we can start, man.
Yeah. Hold on, bro.
Doom, welcome, bro. Welcome. Wagwan. Who's here? Kushimo, welcome, bro. Welcome, brother.
Yeah, good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Hey.
Fireflies is here.
Okay, I think Alexander, welcome, brother. Welcome. Wagwan. Yeah, I can hear you. All right, perfect. So we got the fireflies going.
Yep. Fireflies is
All
here.
right, let's get this party started, man. Emmanuel, it's your
Let's
show.
go.
It's your world.
Okay, everyone. GM, everyone. My name is Emmanuel.
Sorry. Just before you go, just want to say again, guys, for the newbies, if you guys have any questions, you can text them in the chat and I'll reply to them so we don't have to keep stopping the course while Emmanuel is talking. Just FYI. So go ahead, Emmanuel, go ahead. Sorry. Didn't mean to.
Okay. Thank you very much, Moonboy. Thank you, Finn, for having me on this call. So GM, everyone. GM in the crypto space means get money. So we are here to get money, right? Fire knowledge. So GM. And yesterday, I know there was a teacher yesterday. If you have not, followed up with the knowledge, join the Telegram channel. Someone's going to drop it in the link if you are just joining so that you can join and you can follow the pre-recording because I'm going to be building on that, right? I'll do some base touching, but then I'll just build on that, right? This is blockchain basics. We are here to just learn the basis of the blockchain. Why is it called blockchain? What is the characteristics of a blockchain? Why is it a block and a chain? Am I molding a block? Is it a physical block? Is it a clay block? Is it a cement block? What are we doing here? Is it solid stuff, right? So that is why we are having this call, right? It will be very detrimental if your introduction to the blockchain ecosystem is just buying coins, buying tokens, buying all of the stuff. It really does not, give you that foundation, right? When the reason for a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable, right? The blockchain is way more than currency. Trust me, it's way more than currency, and that is why we are here, right? So my topic for today, I'll be sharing my screen very soon. Somebody please mute yourself when you join the call. So I know yesterday we thought about what is blockchain, the evolution, and how blockchain technology works, node blocks and transaction, then key concept on decentralization, transparency, and immutability. I don't want to touch too much on that because the tutor for yesterday did justice on that. Please follow the recording. But today I'll be talking about the blockchain architecture, a little bit on consensus and the types of blockchain that we have. So I'll share my screen now, then I'll be doing a little bit of example. just a sample of how a blockchain works, right? So I'll be sharing my screen. Let me check. I hope. Okay, yes. I can share my screen now. Okay, allow. Please, can you see my screen? Any feedback? Can you see my screen now? Okay. Can you see this?
Emojis, guys. Emojis or text in the chat if you can see the screen.
Yeah. So can you see this introducing blockchain, right?
Yeah.
Can anyone see the introducing blockchain slide?
They can see it. They got the emojis, the thumbs up.
Okay, so let's fire on. My name is Emmanuel Tokwe, right? If you go to my Twitter, I'm called Topichido, and Topichido came from the fact that I love anime, right? I think one of my brothers just gave me that name Topichido, and I stick to it because it sounded Japanese, right? So, and I love anime. Only one anime, Naruto, right? So I love Sharingan. So yeah, my name is Emmanuel. I'm a technical writer, a Solidity developer, but I do more of community developer advocacy, developer marketing. And I worked with Ecolance, Tech Fiesta. I was a community growth manager at Ecolance, Tech Fiesta. I worked with another project called Islamic Coin, ISLM, ARC Network. I'm working with another project also that is involved with real world assets, right? And today we're going to be talking about what the blockchain is. I know the breakdown of what the blockchain is has been done yesterday, but I'll just touch a little bit, right? I call blockchain an instrument for distributed power. That's what I call the blockchain, right? It is distributing power from just one person, one centralized power to a lot of people. And we know what that power is, right? So from the word blockchain, there are two words, and that comprises of block and a chain. So the question is, what is a block? What is a chain? Obviously, here we are not talking about physical blocks, so get that out of your mind. We are not talking about the bricks that you used to build your house, but then we are going to be linking some characteristics from the brick that we used to build our house and how they are linked. How do they link those bricks with cement, right? So what is the cementing on the blockchain ecosystem that, connects the blocks together, right? And like I said, a blockchain basically is just a network of transactions composed of a sequential group of data that are packaged together into blocks and linked linearly. So look at this book. If this book is a block, right? It holds a lot of information. These informations, they are inside this book, right? This is a block. Then let's assume there's another block again, which is a phone. Now, there's a link between the data from this block to the data to this block, right? So, firstly, there is block. What is a block? A block is a compilation of data about whatever you're trying to do. Maybe data on, maybe important data. Could be on currency, it could be on maybe health record, whatever data is, whatever you can translate as data. Like I used to tell my friends, money is also a data, even though it's a form of value, it's also a data, right? Because you are balancing ledger, you are, what do you call it? You are taking over, carrying over. And let me quickly say this, blockchain is an example of a DLT. So a DLT is a distributed ledger technology, right? So blockchain is an example. There are other DLTs also, other DLTs, right? There's IOTA and some other stuffs. So a blockchain network is just transactions composed of sequential group of data linked together. So the question is, what is the link? Now, a block holds a batches of valid transactions. Like I told you, inside these books are data. When I read this book, I'm going to get information. Data is also information, right? Information broken down to the minutest, stuff is called data. But when data is compiled is what we call information, right? So a block holds batches of valid transaction and information. Now, what makes it different is that it is stored and encrypted. From the one encryption means it is hidden. You need a code to decode it. That's why there's encryption and decryption. So you encrypt it to hide, you decrypt it to make it known, right? So that block holds a batches of all of these transactions, all of this data, all of this information. A block holds it. Now, A block is like a box. It has a certain storage capacity. So this book has a certain storage capacity. Now, when the storage capacity is filled, it creates another block. Now, when it creates another block, there has to be a link from the previous block to the new block to continue that linear chain and to continue so that there'll be a continuity of data, continuity of information, right? So blocks have certain storage and capacity. And when they fill, they are linked, they create a new block, and the new block is linked to the previous block. So that link is what we call the chain. Now, that chain has a, what do you call it? It has an encryption. We can't deep dive. There's something called SHA-256/256, right? This encryption is what link the blockchain together such that the predecessor knows his ancestor. Like there's a blockchain before this one. So this one knows. I will show you. I'm going to show you a demo, or maybe I should just do this demo now. So there's a blockchain. There's a block linked to a new block because this block is filled, right? Linked to a new, we creates a new block. Now there's a link, an encryption link like this called SHA-256. There are a lot of encryption link, right? Such that the predecessor, which is the new child, has an information about his ancestor, such that when there's a long chain, the the block before the new block knows that this is H1. Let's say there's block H1, block H2, block H3. H1 knows that H2 is his predecessing block. H2 knows that H3 is his predecessing block because there's an information that links the two of them. So that encryption is what we call the chain. So block chain. So it's a chain of blocks, right? Where the blocks are holding data. And when they are filled, it creates a new block. So it is a chain of block. That's where the name blockchain came out from, right? So, and there are different kind of blocks, right? There is ETH block, the Ethereum block, which holds about 1.875 megabytes of data. There's also the Bitcoin block, which holds 1 megabyte of data. So the Bitcoin block was one of the first blocks that was created. Bitcoin was, one of the blockchains, foremost blockchain. And it was one that allowed for the electronic peer-to-peer transfer of value over the blockchain. And for Bitcoin, Bitcoin is not Turing complete. You can check what Turing complete means. Turing complete means you cannot really build applications on it, right? And that's what Ethereum came to do. Ethereum came to solve that solution such that you can build applications on Ethereum. So now this is just a graphical representation of what I mean. A first block created on a blockchain is called the Genesis block. So the Genesis block holds an information, transaction, data, whatever I call it. When it is filled up, it creates, or when the transaction, or when the data time is over, it creates another block. But there's a link. I remember that link is that encryption, such that the predecessing block knows about the ancestor. Do you understand? This one cannot claim to be the ancestor of this one because this is the predecessing block to this one. So let me just show you a website that really does a perfect demo. I like doing this demo before I move. So I will drop this in the comment section so you can see it. This is it. And that's Brownworth. Let me quickly show you a demo. Now, remember, I think I forgot to say that a block holds about, let me go back. A block holds about 4 information, right? A block has a block number. It has a nonce. Nonce means number used once. And that number used once is a mathematical way of how you can identify the block. Then a block holds the data, and a block has what they call hash. Now, this hash is what I was calling the link that link the block together. Remember, a blockchain is just blocks that are linked together through a chain, and that chain, that encryption chain, is what we call hash, right? Such that H1 has an hash, H2, which is the child, has another hash. H1 has H2 has the information of H1 hash, right? Such that when you call the record, when you call data on the blockchain, it will have to access H1 using that same hash. I'll show you what I mean. So now look at this block. This is a blockchain demo using Anders Brownworth website. Thank you to these guys for creating this stuff. So let's assume I want to put a data of my name. My name is Emmanuel. Now, please keep your eye on the hash. Keep your eye on the hash. As I am putting in the data, a new hash is generated. Keep your eyes on the hash. You will see when I write my name, Emmanuel. See, when I write my name, Emmanuel, the hash has already changed. Then I mine this information. Mining means I initiate the transaction. I initiate the information for the blockchain to record it, right? So now, when I initiated it, this hash, it is what is linked to a new chain that will be created. So let me go to this new tab so that I don't confuse you too much. Let's come to this new tab called blockchain, right? So you can see that there's block 1, block 2, block 3, then block 4, block 5, right? So remember I told you it holds 4 information. A block holds the block number, the nonce, which is number used once, a data, and also hash. And that hash is the encryption that links those blocks together, which make them a chain of block, and we now call it blockchain. So now let's assume the first data I want to input on this network of block is A. Let me just use A, capital letter A. Please, while I'm doing this, keep your eyes on this previous and hash, because this is where I will explain how the blockchain link to each other. Let's assume this data is just taking A. Now, after I put A, I mined it. Because it's a Genesis block, it has a previous hash is 00000 because it's the Genesis block. Remember, the first block on the chain is called the Genesis block, so it's taking a lot of time to mine. So I'm trying to mine. Remember what mining is, just like initiating transaction. Now it's already showing me green, right? So this is the Genesis block, and I want to link the Genesis block to what do you call it? The next block. Let's assume I want to put B, but this time I want to put small letter b. This is, remember, one of the characteristics of the blockchain is immutability. Immutability means I can't change it after I have initiated a transaction. I can't go back and say, I changed my mind. So let me show you now. Let me put small letter b here. So small letter b, I'm going to block 2 now. Let me put small letter b. Let me put small letter b. Now, pay close attention. This is the link now that I said the information that the predecessing or the ancestor and the successor, the successing block. So predecessing and successing block, like ancestor and a child, father and a child. So the father block, how does a father know his child? The DNA. That's why they do a DNA test, right? What does a DNA contain? It contains the information about the genes of the father that is transferred to the child, right? So that's how the blockchain is, right? There's a father, which is the Genesis block. When the next blockchain, which is the child, is initiated, he holds an information like a gene of the father. So look at it. Let's go below. Let me mine this data, small letter b, right? Let me mine the mining, like I said, initiating transaction. Let me initiate transaction of the small letter b. So let's go close. Let's look closely to this part. Let me zoom in very well, right? Now, let me zoom in very well. No, I want to zoom into aha. So let me zoom in very well. Look at this previous and hash. Pay close attention. Because this is the Genesis block. The Genesis block is showing that it does not have any previous data of any blockchain because I am the father. But when I mine this data has this hash. This hash is, like I said, it's an encryption. So it's encrypting it, making it. If I send this number to you, how can you know that this number means A? You can't decrypt it because this blockchain encrypted all of just capital letter A. See the numbers. I think over 32. Is it 24, 32 numbers to just hold this data, capital letter A. So now you will see that on this hash there's 000 CDAA. Pay close attention. When I went to what they call it, when I created block B, this block 2, and imputed small letter b as a data, it shows the previous hash. This is the DNA. The father passed the DNA. the previous hash, which is 0000CDAA. So this is the link. This encryption is the link such that father knows the child, child knows the grandchild, grandchild knows the great-grandchild, like that on the chain, right? So the link is this hash. There's a previous hash. So the new successing block holds the previous hash of the predecessor. Do you understand? Just like when some of us, when we see our parents, yes, we look like our parents, but then we look like ourselves. So he has his own hash as a block, but he also has the information of the predecessor. That information of the predecessor, that encryption is the link, right? So now I already created B. Let me now go to block 3. Let me go to block 3 and put capital letter C. Then now mine it. You will see something. You will see that the previous hash of block 3 will be equals to the current hash of, what do you call it, of the block 2. What do I mean? Look at this part of block 2. This is 00040AF704. Look at block 3. Under his previous, this is 000AF704. The same, so the DNA of the father is being passed to the new child, right? The new block. Why the new block also has his own, what do you call it? His own DNA, his own hash. Remember, when we're creating block 2, we put small letter B, right? Let me try and change it to capital letter B, and you will see a disruption. Let me change it to capital letter B. It's showing me that, can you see the red? It's showing me that no, the data I mined was not capital letter B, it was small letter B. If I put small letter B, everything will be green. If I try to change it to capital letter B, no. And we have to mine this data again and re-enter this data, right? And this is just a demo blockchain. On the real blockchain, when you have done it, you have done it. That will be in another transaction. You can't go back and say, I want to change it to capital letter B or small letter B. So this is just example, right? So now putting it to small letter B, it's telling me that if I put it in capital letter B, the reason why it is showing me red is because the previous hash is not equals to the DNA from the father, which is the, what do you call it, the ancestor of this block. They don't have the same hash, but when I put small letter B, when I put small letter B, I put small letter, it becomes green because this previous hash is equal to the father's DNA. Even if I put space and put small letter B, it will not still click. It is, the blockchain is that, specific about the data coming in. Now I'm putting small letter B, but I first put a space, then put small letter B. It is not going to turn green until I put the small letter B, the information that was, what they call it, that I imputed from onset. So the link, the links are the hash, this hash from the father to the new block, from the old block to the new block. So that hash now becomes a long link. So imagine a block of 10,000 blocks with all those hash linked to each other. It becomes, what do you call it? It becomes a chain, and those data are encrypted. I cannot just go there and access those data. Do you understand? So this is just a sample of how the blockchain work typically. This is a demo how the blockchain work, typically. The reason why all this one are showing red is because, don't forget, the previous hash here is not the same as this hash here. I've not even mined the data there, right? Until I put the data and mine it, then it turns green. Mine means initiate it, right? So this is how typically the blockchain work, right? Now, let me just give a whole, pre-summary or a summary of all I've been saying, is that the blockchain is a system of recording information in a way that it is difficult to change, hack, or even cheat the system. I can't cheat the system. Right about now, in our banking system, you can make transfer and the transfer didn't go through, and you go to the bank and they will reverse it. That can happen on the blockchain. If you make a transfer to a wrong network, it's gone forever. You can't retrace it, right? Because it is immutable. Immutability means it can be changed. So in technical terms, blockchain is just a distributed database or a ledger that is shared among nodes of computer. So now let's talk about let's talk about consensus mechanism, right? What does consensus mechanism mean? I'll tell you how we even arrive at consensus mechanism. Remember, I told you that the blockchain is a distributed ledger technology. Now, Right about now, so most of the systems we are using that is running our day-to-day lives are centralized system. As we are talking on Google, it's a centralized, what do you call it, system. Gmail has access to all of these are recorded. Even though we are going to download the record, Gmail has access to all of these are recorded. It's stored in their supercomputer, one place in their cloud, right? And they can always manipulate it. The same way they made, Trump to lose one of the election one time like that, because some people were doing some propaganda using Facebook, right? They went back end and did some funny stuff, and that's because the power was with a body. But with the blockchain, the power is not with a body. The power is distributed among so many computers that are called node. Now, for this blockchain to work, these nodes has to have a form of agreement, how they agree. Like now, I am mining A, B, C, like I did here. I now change this one to capital letter B. Let's assume these are blockchains and these are computers. They are computers that are checking this transaction. One of the computer that is like a monitor of this transaction is telling us that no, this is wrong. The data that is here is small letter B, right? So those computers, those physical infrastructures is what we call node. And those nodes have a way of agreeing, right? Let's assume you want to transfer 10,000 naira or 10,000 euros from your account and you don't have up to 10,000 euros and you want to transfer. On our normal system, it will bounce, right? On the blockchain also, how it will bounce is that the nodes will check your history, your transaction history. If you have that amount, they will agree that you can do this transaction. If you don't have that amount, they will decline it, right? So in the case of your bank, it is a centralized body that is helping you to say initiate the transaction or decline the transaction. But with the blockchain, like I said, it is a network of computers. So imagine, let's talk about Bitcoin. Imagine 10,000 computers, which is more than that. I'm sure we have more than 10,000 nodes, but 10,000 computers coming to agree on just your transaction. They are agreeing that, oh, this person has this amount. Okay, you can send. This person does not have this amount. So that's what we call a consensus mechanism. So consensus is just a big word. Consensus means agreement. Mechanism means a mode of agreement. So bringing the two words, mechanism means a mode. What is the mechanism of the internet? Meaning how does the internet work? So they are saying that consensus mechanism now means how the blockchain nodes agree, how they agree on initiating a transaction or initiating a data or mining a data, however, right? So consensus mechanism is just a system of agreement that determines the validity of a transaction. And the reason for that system of agreement is for determining the validity. Remember that the blockchain is trustworthy. You can trust the blockchain. You can, especially as on public blockchain, it is pseudo-anonymous. You can see that somebody is doing a transaction. You might not know the person, but you can know that this wallet address is doing this transaction, doing this transaction. But there are some nodes that are agreeing to the validity that, okay, what this person is trying to do is true. And somebody is, is mining. We're going to get to what the meaning of mining is, right? Somebody is agreeing to it. Somebody is saying, okay, this can go through, this cannot go through. Out of that network, so one person is chosen to, say, okay, this can go through. But this network will agree if it can go through or does not go through, right? So the system of agreement that determines the validity of transaction or governance on the blockchain is called a consensus mechanism. So it's called a consensus mechanism. And the reason is just to enable trust and security on the blockchain. Since we don't want to put our power in centralized bodies, government, banks, we are now saying computers should use mathematical, equation to agree, right? And the reason is because we believe that we can trust the encryption or whatever program that we put to ensure all of this transaction on the blockchain, right? So the consensus mechanism enables trust and security in a blockchain network. Now, the people and networks who validate the block are called miners. Remember, when I was working on this place, I wrote mine, and I said mine means you are initiating it. Now, the people that are now allowing you to initiate that stuff, they are validating that block. Remember, block holds data, information. Now you're not trying to initiate the block in a blockchain network. The people that are validating you to initiate that block, they are the one called miners, and they get a reward. Remember, when you transfer in your normal banking system, when you transfer from point A to point B, the bank collects what we call bank charges, right? And it goes to the bank, even when it reach there. So they keep money for you, they collect tax on that money, they use your money to what they call it, to borrow other people your money, get interest on that money. And even when you want to transfer on that money again, they still collect charges, right? You see how, this centralized system are using us, using all of our resources to better themselves and still also, better the government. Do you understand? So the people and network who validates the blocks are called, They are called miners. And the process of adding a block or validating a block in a blockchain is called mining. So now I know some people on this call, maybe some of you are doing some tap to tap swap, blah blah blah. And you think you are mining. Really, that's not mining, right? Mining is done by supercomputers that really upgrade. When they started, a computer like mine with a Raspberry Pi can mine. But now it has upgraded. People are using supercomputer because the competition of being a miner is also on the high side because they get a reward, right? All those your transaction fee on the blockchain is going to the miners. The miners get a reward. Do you understand? So there are different types of consensus mechanism. There's proof of work, there's proof of stake, there's proof of authority, there's delegated proof of stake, there's proof of capacity, there's proof of activity, proof of elapsed time, proof of bond, proof of history. Now, what is the meaning of proof? What is a proof of work? Literal sense. Now, if you are working maybe as a social media person and they ask you, show me your proof of work, they're asking you to show me what you have done over the years. That's really what proof of work is, right? So, but now in the blockchain space, proof of work mostly is used by Bitcoin. It was also used by Ethereum for a while before they moved from proof of work to proof of stake. And reason being that because of energy consumption, and we're trying to build technologies that are compatible to the environment. They don't release a lot of CO2 so that there's not too much green gas out there, right? But with proof of work, they are going to be using machines, and these machines are emitting heat, and this heat also is affecting the atmosphere. So that's why they move from proof of work to proof of stake. So this is how proof of work works basically, right? Let's assume I want to make a transaction on Bitcoin, the Bitcoin blockchain, because Bitcoin blockchain use proof of work. So I want to transfer one BTC from point A to point B. So when I when I initiate that transaction, I want to transact from point A to point B. Remember, I told you that there are Bitcoin nodes, there are blockchain nodes, there are network of computers that are monitoring what we are doing, right? So immediately I say I want to transact on the Bitcoin blockchain. There is a technology on the Bitcoin blockchain that has been encrypted. We don't want to go deep down to the technological layer. On the technological layer level, there is a mathematical equation that is being created, and the first computer node to guess the right answer gets the reward. Get the reward of validating the transaction, and when you validate the transaction, your transaction fee goes to that person, right? So proof of work is really large, right? Because some people come together to create a mining pool. So for you to be able to be a eligible miner on the proof of work chain, firstly, you must have a hashing power, and your hashing power comes from the kind of equipment you are using to validate the transaction. Number two, and the speed of validating the transaction, the speed of your guessing the number. So this is where what we call nonce come. Nonce means number used once, right? So remember when I created block A, it was capital letter A. When I created block B or block 2, it was small letter B. Then a nonce was created called 68994. When I mined it, there is a Bitcoin or a blockchain node, a blockchain computer, wherever that guessed this correct, this number. It's called number used once. It's only used once. This number, and after guessing this number, right, and getting the correct number, that blockchain node, that Bitcoin node, or get the reward. So let's assume when I transfer 1 Bitcoin, you are going to be getting 0.01 BTC for validating the transaction. Now, whatsoever blockchain node gets this number used one, right, is the one that gets the reward. So this is where mining comes in, and also this is what we call proof of work. So the work is that it could guess it. It could guess that this is the or provide the answer to the mathematical equation. It is deeper than that, right? On a, what do you call it, on a technological layer. But this is how I can explain it. Now, when we move to proof of stake, now proof of stake removes all of these equipment that we've been using. So for all this mining, for all this on proof of work, you'll be needing a large supercomputer, like I've mentioned. And those large supercomputers generate heat, and sometimes they even use water to cool it. They use coolant, and when you're cooling, there are gases that are being emitted to the atmosphere. So the blockchain ecosystem is trying to become more, eliminate a lot of greenhouse gases. So what they came up was with a proof of stake. And this is how a proof of stake work, is that you are going to be staking a fixed unit of your asset on the blockchain. So the higher your stake, the higher your power of validating a transaction, right? So let's assume like Ethereum, I think Ethereum, is it not 32 ETH or 12 ETH, right? So you're going to be staking 12 ETH. Is anybody saying anything? Oh, okay, so in 15 minutes, oh, no problem. So you're going to be staking like, 10 ETH. And with that 10 ETH, you have, or 12 ETH, you have the power to validate a transaction. Remember, the reason why you're validating this transaction is because to get a reward, and also to keep the trust of the blockchain, to make the blockchain look, not look, but to make the data on the blockchain valid. Now, if you validate a wrong data on the proof of stake, you're going to be paying for that. The network is going to penalize you. So there are rules and regulations. It's not that it's somebody that's penalizing you. There's a mathematical equation that's gone on the line on the protocol level, that if you validate a wrong transaction, you are penalized as a node for validating that transaction, right? Then there's proof of authority. From the word proof of authority, means you have to show authority that maybe you can validate a transaction, or you can't do it, you can't validate a transaction. Proof of capacity, proof of history, proof of born, proof of activity, proof of elapsed time. There are a lot of proofs. So there is this triangle here, or this circle, that I have. There's proof of importance, proof of history, elapsed time, proof of space. When you're talking about Filecoin and you're talking about IPFS, especially Filecoin use proof of space, right? You are going to be showing, because Filecoin is storing data on the blockchain, encrypting it such that if you store data on Google Cloud, all of this cloud, one of these days, if they are out of market, then you lose all of the data, right? But storing it on the blockchain means you are encrypting it, and you can always call for it. So on a chain like Filecoin, from the word Filecoin, file means you can store file on that blockchain, right? So as a miner, as somebody want to validate transaction, you must have space, proof of capacity, or proof of space, right? And there are other stuffs. So we could talk about why blockchain. The reason for blockchain is for fidelity, for security, and to record data and generate trust without the need of a trusted third party. Everybody here needs to read the Bitcoin white paper, or you can go to ChatGPT and say, explain the Bitcoin white paper like I'm a 5-year-old. ChatGPT will explain it to you very well. All it does was just to remove third party. So I can transfer data, I can transfer value over the chain, I can transfer money from point A to point B without a third party, right? Without a third party. A lot of money are moving on chain, thousands of dollars. You can't transfer maybe $100,000 using a bank in the US, or they are going to ask you for a lot of information, but with the blockchain, all you need is just your wallet and the correct wallet address of the person you're transferring it to, and boom, in seconds, you move it to it, removing the third party, right? So now, imagine the power of the blockchain, the ability to remove the third party. So now, start imagining how you can implement it in agriculture. Start imagining how you can implement it in health. Start imagining how you can implement it in commerce. Start imagining how you can implement it in entertainment, right? NFTs, all of these things. Before, people will need to have a publishing house to be able to put their music out there. With NFT, you can put your music out there, right? Snoop Dogg did it, and he made a lot of money. A lot of people bought his album. and he put it on OpenSea, which is an NFT marketplace, and made a lot of money leveraging on that capacity that the blockchain have, the ability to remove, the trusted third party. So blockchain are transparent, like I tell you, depending on type of blockchain we get it. They're transparent, and you can view them on what we call Blockchain Explorer. I will show you. I'll just do a little bit example. So types of blockchain, there are 4 types of blockchain, and I think I'll just draw the curtain here. Types of blockchain, there's the public blockchain, private blockchain, hybrid, and consortium. So from the word public, it means that it is open to following. People can see it, and I'll quickly show you something. There's something called Etherscan. Etherscan is a blockchain explorer for Ethereum. So let's quickly check Etherscan, right? Let's quickly check Etherscan. So now on Etherscan, you can go to etherscan.io. You can see that it shows the price. What are the numbers of transactions that have been done? This is 2446.13 million transactions, 14.0 transaction per second, and all of this information, the latest finalized block, blah, 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 blah. See, it is so transparent now. So let me track somebody that just quickly did a transaction in the last 7 seconds, right? Somebody did this transaction 7 seconds ago from this person to this person. So I can click on the transaction. I can click on the transaction hash. Like I told you, hash is that encryption. So this is transaction hash. What is the status of this transaction? It is successful. Okay, what is the block number? The block number is 20342749. How many block confirmation did it take? 4 block confirmation. Remember, I told you that there's a network that agree on if this transaction should go or should not go. So 4 blocks, 4 nodes agreed for this transaction to go through, right? What was the timestamp of this transaction? It happened 49 seconds ago. Okay, from who to who? So this is where pseudo-anonymity comes on the blockchain. Pseudo-anonymous means I know that this is the whatever that did the transaction, but I don't know who the person is. So it's pseudo-anonymous. I will deep dive on this now. What is the value that the person moved on the chain? The person moved is 0.117 Ethereum, which was about $413. Okay, what was the transaction fee? Is 0.62. This is 0.62 transaction fee. We go to the miner. Okay, what was the gas fee? This is the gas fee, 6.37 GWay. Okay. I can click more information now. So now I want to know this person that transferred this money. How much does this person even have in their wallet? I can just go click on it from, click on that person's wallet address. Now, this person, this is the address of the person. This person has 0.4483 Ethereum. And what is the value of that Ethereum? It is about $1,579. Okay, this person now, how many transactions has this person done today? So it is showing me that they did a transaction 2 minutes ago, 13 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago, 46 minutes ago, 52 minutes ago, 54 minutes ago, 1 hour ago. Wow, this person did a lot of transactions. Okay, who are they transferring the money to? You can see the person that you can see the wallet address that they are transferring it to. So this is a public blockchain. You can see how transaction is moving, and that's why people who do blockchain data analysis, this is how they can do data analytics of the data on the blockchain, because it's on the public blockchain, because it is transparent, one, and pseudo-anonymous. So I can see that this person transferred to this wallet address, to this wallet address. Is there any similarities in the wallet address they transferred to? I don't think so. Okay. So this person that they transferred from this person to this person. Can you see when I click from, it shows that it is the same wallet that transferred. So let's see to this person. When I click to this person, now this person that I click to, how much does this person have in their wallet address? Kai, see the person that they transferred to, this person has 144.8, which is valued $508,000. This person is a rich person. No? So this rich person now, how many transactions have they done today? They did a transaction 3 minutes ago, 4 hours ago, blah, 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 blah. Some people can go as far as copying this person's wallet address and going to Twitter or any social media and see if this person has ever posted their stuff on the on social media, try and track the person. People do that, right? Sometimes people track, when it comes to fraud, they track down to centralized exchange. We're going to be talking about that. I think Van will talk about that. Track down to centralized exchange, then know the person who steal, or if there is a stealing, or if there's a movement of money legally, right? So people do that, right? You can track them down to centralized blockchain, where they try to cash out, and you hold them responsible. But this person is very, very rich. 144 Ethereum, that's applied for $8,000. Interesting. That's big money, right? So this person obviously, this person is doing some bot transaction because I can see MEV, I can see Titan Builder. This person is doing trading, big time, rich man, rich con. So now, how am I able to do all of that? Because it's a public blockchain. Now, a private blockchain is different from that. Private blockchain are used by all of these organizations who want to leverage on the power of the blockchain, the speed of the blockchain, the trustlessness of the blockchain, but they want to make it private. Private such that people in their circle, let's assume it's a bank. So if it is a bank, they want to make it sure that only their bank users can see their blockchain. Because when you want to access it, you will need to put a wallet address, right? So you cannot access it if you don't have that bank, if you have not created an account with that bank, right? This is just a scenario of a bank using the blockchain, right? A lot of banks are working on using that. There's a company in Nigeria who, they created an ATM solution using the blockchain. Crazy invention, and it's faster. They have their ATM points in Lagos, on the island in Lagos. I can't remember their name now. They use the blockchain for POS, for what's called ATM transactions. So you take your card, you think you're interacting with the bank, or you're interacting with the blockchain, but they routed it. Instead of using NIBBS, they used blockchain, right? Then they now off-ramp to Naira and other stuff, right? So hybrid blockchain is mixed content, both private and public, where some part is controlled by the organization, the other part is made visible. There's a consortium is a creative approach that solves the need of organization. This blockchain validates transaction and also initiates or receive transaction. So these ones are more specific. Consortium are basically organizational kind of blockchain. So we're talking about Hyperledger, right? They are focused towards organizations.
Emmanuel, let's stop it. Let's stop it here real quick. Let's just get a little bit of the questions. Just real fast before we have to close. We have 5 minutes left. So someone just asked the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum. So if you like, you can respond to that.
Okay. So the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum is, number one, Bitcoin is not Turing complete. Ethereum is Turing complete, right? This is just big English. If you have watched, there's this movie of Alan Turing, the guy that decoded the Nazi information that they were transferring over telephone wire. He was one that decoded it during the war, and that's how USA won the 1945, war, right? So his name is Alan Turing. So he created a Turing complete machine for decoding now. So for Bitcoin, like I told you, there's a lot of encryption, decryption. There's a lot of cryptography as regards blockchain, right? And Alan Turing was a boss in cryptography, right? But the way Bitcoin was wired is that it is only created for electronic transaction of money, right? Peer-to-peer electronic transaction. You can't build applications on Bitcoin. You can't build metaverse. You can't build anything on Bitcoin. But for Ethereum brought the advent of building on the blockchain using smart contracts, right? We're going to be talking about that, right? So Ethereum introduced the concept of smart contract, right? You can't deploy a smart contract on Bitcoin except the layer 2s of Bitcoin. We're going to be talking about that also. Rootstock Lab, Runes, all of those guys, Stacks, those are like Bitcoin L2s that you can deploy smart contract on. But the difference is that on Bitcoin, you can't deploy smart contract. On Ethereum, you can deploy smart contract, right? That is the main difference. Then on a technical level, Bitcoin is not Turing complete. Ethereum is Turing complete. So those are like the two, information I could just put out there.
Okay, so guys, if you guys have any follow-up questions, you can ask them in the Telegram chat. And so we're going to conclude the course for today, and then we'll continue this on so Emmanuel can continue then on next Thursday. And I will also then, once Emmanuel finishes his course, we need to give you guys also as well the rubric of all the different sorts of things that we plan to implement and to teach throughout the entire course. So that's coming too as well alongside with homework. So expect that coming in the next couple 24 to 48 hours or so. So appreciate you guys for joining. And it said Telegram chat for any questions, anything that you need. Okay. And appreciate you guys. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys.
Thank you guys for just. So I think Van, I think Emmanuel would have to continue his class next
Yes.
Thursday because I think there's still more info that is meant to give us, right? So
Yes.
so yeah, he would continue that next week.
Yes. Perfect. Somebody just asked for the link for Telegram. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. All right, perfect. Okay, guys. See you guys in Telegram and have a good weekend. And follow us on Twitter. Take care. Take care. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye.